So good morning all of you. So today we will start from the unit number 4, that is two cavity klystron amplifier. So what is this two cavity klystron amplifier? Now we know that we are using this microwave. This subject is microwave. So when you will start the microwave subject, now we have started with the basics, understanding. Then whatever the passive equipments for the microwave that we discuss. Now today we will discuss the two cavity klystron amplifier. Now what is this? Now in the microwave application, you need a microwave signal. That is what a very high frequency signal. Generally, the microwave frequency it starts from the 300 megahertz, 300 megahertz, and it goes to terahertz and all this. So there are the IEEE bands, various bands are there, and in that various bands you can have the various applications for the various bands. But for all these applications, suppose we will see that the application for satellite, application for mobile, application mobile is not in micro range. Application for satellite, maybe your household
इसमें तो लिंक नहीं दिया है ना
microwave.
मेन लिंक
So
नहीं आपको फोन में
this
इधर होगा मटेरियल
whatever the things are there.
इसका फोटो लिया
So
नहीं अरे नहीं जो लिंक है ना साइंस का वो उस फोन में
I'll request mute yourself. So whatever the applications are there, so that applications require a microwave signal. Now, from where you will get the microwave signal? As in your laboratory, you have a function generator. Now this function generator have the oscillator, what the different oscillators and amplifier you have studied. But it is for few gigahertz, few kilohertz, and at the max up to 2 megahertz or maybe 4 megahertz. So now the question is, what are the amplifier or the generator for the microwave signal? So this is what the very basic, and till date this amplifier, that is the two cavity klystron amplifier, as you are able to see here, that the two cavity klystron amplifier is visible, and in the two cavity klystron amplifier you can see the two cavities are there. So this is one cavity and this is the another cavity. So these two cavity has the different function, and this function, what are this the function of this two cavity klystron, how it work. Here you can see this is RF input and RF output. So how you got the signal? So the two cavity klystron is widely used for the as a microwave amplifier operated by the principle of velocity and the current modulation. Now, what is the velocity modulation or the current modulation that we are discuss after this discussion, and then we will go in detail of the understanding of this diagram. Now here, what this is what the electron, whatever your concept of CRT you might have studied in your CRO. What happened? The electrons are generated by the electron gun, and this is what here the electron gun. So the electrons are generated by the electron gun, and they are bombarded on the screen, that is the fluorescent screen, that is on the CRT. I am talking about the CRO, and then these electrons travel through the vacuum. So here this is also a one type of vacuum tube, but the frequency here is very high, that is the micro frequency range. So then an electron injected from a cathode that arrive at the first cavity with uniform velocity. Means what? This is what a cathode, and this is what here the anode. So what this form, this cathode, this is what a heater, that is the electron gun. So this electron gun generate the electron. So here whatever the blue lines I have shown, the three blue lines, so these are the continuously electrons are going with a constant velocity to this cavity. Now these cavities are named as, this is the Buncher cavity. So entire this structure, this is what the Buncher cavity, and this entire structure, it is known as the Catcher cavity. This is what the concept diagram. This is not the actual diagram. This is what the, you can say, as you have the block diagram. So this is what the concept diagram, how it work. Okay. Now those electron, whatever this electron, it pass, those electron passing the first cavity and the gap at zero of the gap voltage or a single voltage pass through with a unchanged velocity. Those passing through the positive half cycle of the gap voltage undergo and increase in the velocity. Those passing through the negative swing of the gap voltage undergo a decrease in velocity. So we will go one by one. That is, this is what the anode function. Okay. So this, what this anode, this is what cathode, the electrons are generated, and on this anode, this is what the negatively charged. So negatively charged plates are there. Why these are kept? Because electrons are generated. We know the electrons are negatively charged. When they pass through this anode, they become a focus. Okay. So here, whatever the flow of electron, it becomes focus. Now you have to understand here, the electron here, they travel in a vacuum. Here there is no conductor. So whatever the concept of your, whatever you can say Ohm's law and all these things may not be applicable here. So this is not the conductor, it is in a vacuum. So we are talking about the vacuum tube, and the electrons are traveling. This entire travel, these electrons are traveling in a vacuum tube. Okay. So this electron undergoes, so here it becomes focus, and when it goes to this cavity, this is called a Buncher cavity, and here the bunching action takes place. Now how the bunching action takes place, a diagram what next to this, that we'll discuss, and in detail we'll discuss that how the bunching can be takes place. Now here this bunching means what happened. As I mentioned here, the RF input signal is given. Now according to RF input signal, if the positive half cycle of the gap voltage undergo an increase in the velocity. Now when this RF input signal is there, now RF input signal, it has a high frequency. So when it has a positive half cycle, so the positive half cycle and the electrons are negatively charged, so they repel each other, and there is an increase in velocity. And if there is suppose a zero, a positive half cycle, negative half cycle, and zero, if there is a positive half cycle, then there is an increase in velocity of the electron. If there is a negative half cycle, then there is a decrease in the velocity of electron, and they come together and form a bunch. And if there is a zero, that is a zero voltage, then there is no change in the velocity of electron. So if positive voltage increase the velocity, negative voltage decrease the velocity. So what happened? It form a bunch. So to understand this, you can have an analogy of traffic. What happened in the maybe on the road, if you will take an example of any road, maybe suppose the Western Express Highway, and at particular point, if there is a gap, if there is a bottleneck, so what happened, the car or the vehicles, they go early, they get their they get stuck there, and they form a particular bunch. So similarly here, the electrons are get bunched, because the electrons, those they are back, they come with the larger velocity, and the electron maybe at the front comes with a lesser decrease in the velocity, and this form a bunch. So as in cavity, the bunching action takes place. So this bunching action is here. It happened here. Okay. So what happened as a result of this action? The electrons gradually bunch together as they travel down a drift shape. So what these electron they travel down, and this is what the drift. This is what the drift space. Whatever this space from this cavity to this cavity, it is called a drift space. Whatever this entire space. So this is what the drift space. So here they come to this, and what happened due to this? Here the variation in the electron velocity in the drift space is known as velocity modulation. So what I am saying here, the increase in the velocity of the electron by the positive half cycle, decrease in the velocity of electron by the negative half cycle, and they form a bunch. So the variation in the electron velocity, variation in the electron velocity here in the drift, this is what the drift area. Velocity in the drift space is known as the velocity modulation. So this concept is velocity modulation. So this is what the basic concept of what the klystron amplifier. This is your basic concept of the klystron amplifier. This is what the drift, the velocity modulation. This concept may be asked so many times in the exam. What is the velocity modulation? So you can explain related to this. This is what your velocity modulation. Now we will go further. Then what happened? The density of the electron in the second gap varies cylindrically with the time, and the electron beam contains a AC component and is said to be current modulated. So this is also can be said as the current modulation. Okay. So the maximum bunching should occur approximately midway between the second cavity grid during its retarding phase. Thus, the kinetic energy in the transfer form of the electron to be field of the second cavity. So whatever your velocity modulation, it takes place maximum in this area, whatever this area is there. So what the electrons then emerge from the second cavity. So when they emerge from the second cavity, now what this is called the catcher cavity. When the electron then emerge from the second cavity with reduced velocity and finally terminate at the collector. So what is this? This is a collector. Okay. So this is what is this? This is what you can say it is a collector. So whatever it get collected at the collector. So this collector, anyone can tell me whether this collector will be positively charged or negatively charged plate? What it should be? It will get collected. So it will be, you can say it is the collector. So it is the positively charged plate. Because, yes, it will be positively charged plate because electrons are negatively charged. So it will get collected here. So if you will see the characteristics of the two cavity klystron. So here the two cavity klystron characteristics. So if you will talk in terms of the efficiency of this entire cavity, so efficiency is about 40%. So as the microwave devices, the microwave conventional devices, their efficiency is comparatively low. So efficiency of this two cavity klystron, it is around 40%, 40, and the power output. So how much power it can give you? So power output, this is the average power output, that is the continuous wave. in two mode you can get the power. So one is the continuous mode power and other is the pulse mode power. So in the continuous mode power, the power is about 500 kilowatt. So you can get up to 500 kilowatt power in the continuous mode. And the pulse power, so pulse power is up to 30 megawatt. Okay, 30 megawatt. And if you will see the particular frequency, so these numbers are given at the frequency of 10 gigahertz. So whatever that, if you will say, particularly this is in general, the numbers are there so that you can understand that how much power it can generate by the two cavity klystron amplifier. So a two cavity klystron amplifier, it will generate a power around 500 kilowatt and a pulse power of 300 megawatt. So this much can be done. And as it is an amplifier, so what will be the gain? So the possible gain is around 30 dB. So it is a very high power, means a high 30 dB is the around very high gain. So it gives you a very high gain. So this is what the general specifications of this whatever the uh, two cavity klystron. Now we will come here to discuss that how this bunching takes place and based on the time and the distance scale, how it works. So based on the time and distance scale, how this working takes place. So I'll just uh, go for the time and the distance, the time and the distance scale. So first I'll go for the time scale. First we will go for the distance scale. So here you can see in this cavity, I'll just draw a proportionate diagram. So here you will have just wait. So here with reference to this cavity, you can have, and with reference to this cavity. So I will just draw a distance of each cavity. So this two cavity with have a reference distance. So this is what the two cavity distance, and similarly the appropriate distance with reference to this diagram only I will draw a distance. So this also may be the distance and this will be the other distance. So what I want to show you here, that is from, if you will consider from here to maybe at the end. So this will be your distance. Suppose this will be, you may have called, this is the start distance. So this is distance 0. Okay. So black will be the better for this moment. So this is distance 0, and this is what you can say at distance d. That is what whatever the distance between this cavity, that is the buncher cavity. And distance scale here, this is distance L. That is what from this point to this point. So this will be your distance L. So distance L, you can say it is from distance D to here. Okay, and from here to here. So this is what your distance L. Okay, so this is your distance L, and this is again you can say this is L, and what will be this distance? So this distance L, this is L, and this is distance D. So at this location, this will be L plus D. Okay, And again, this cavity is also having the distance d. So this will be at L plus 2d. Okay, so this will be distance. This is on the z axis, you can see. So this is what the distance scale. So this is at the distance 0, this is at the distance d, and this distance between two cavity, I'll say this is the L. And so that's why this will be, so from 0, that is the L plus d, and this distance is also d, so L plus 2d. So this is what the distance scale, okay, of this. And now I'll go for the time scale. The same thing, how it will go for the time scale. So for first, that is what uh, for here. So I will go for the time scale. So this is what I'll call this as the time t0. Okay. So this is what at time t0 it start. Then it will reach maybe at time t1. Okay. And here uh, time t2, and at the end it will go at time t3. So this is what the time scale, whatever here. So this is what your, the lower one is the time scale. Okay, so this is what your time scale. You can say from this to this. So the same at what distance and at what time. So this is time scale. So you will have the lower axis, the lower term as the time scale, and maybe the upper one you can have the z axis, suppose. So it is the distance scale. So the upper one with the distance and this. So why I have draw this? It is the how bunching action takes place. Now in the next diagram, what we are going to discuss, that as the velocity modulation takes place. So how the velocity modulation takes place, and in the velocity modulation, what are the things happen, how the velocity of the by the positive half cycle, how the velocity of the electron is decreases, and by the negative half cycle, how it increases. So what is the things here? It is the input, the whatever, as it is amplifier, so it requires some input. So here it is the input, so input is given here. So due to that, bunching action takes place, and this bunching action, it will be collected by the catcher cavity. So this is what your catcher cavity. So catcher cavity collect the whatever your microwave signal, RF signal, and from here you will get the output. So this is nothing but this cavity is the two cavity cluster. Is there any doubt in this? Otherwise we will go further. That is the next is your bunching distance and time scale, that we will discuss.
So is this topic in the poser as well?
Huh.
Poser book.
This is not in the poser. I'll mention the book. Whatever the book given here, if we will go for the Simon Leo. Simon Leo is the book that is in a better way. It is mentioned in the Simon Leo. In the poser, it is not in that much scope, whatever the scope is of our syllabus. So Simon Leo is the good book which is required. So I have prepared the notes. So I will upload the notes on the Google Classroom. So you will get the notes also.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Anything else? But Yes, obviously you can do the further reading also, it will help. Anything else? Okay, so here I will just stop for this, but the same part of this we will go here. This is the bunching process. Is this screen visible?
Visible है sir.
Okay. Now in the same diagram, whatever the things we discuss here, this bunching action takes place, whatever this RF input is there. So how this RF input has a part. So whatever the bunching action, this is what the main thing, velocity modulation and bunching action. So how it takes place, that we are going to discuss by this diagram. Now, what is this? This is what maybe your z-axis. Whatever the axis, I will name this as, this is what your z-axis. Okay, and this is what the time t. So time. Whatever we discussed, the distance versus time. So we are doing here the distance versus time, how it works, how the bunching takes place. So what is this? The red line, it is your sinusoidal waveform. Now what is it? It is your input. What input? That is the RF input. Where we are giving RF input? Here we are giving RF input. Whatever in two cavity klystron, RF input signal we are giving. So whatever this RF input signal, how it works, sorry. So this is what your RF input signal. Okay. So this is what your RF input signal. Now this RF input signal is obviously the sinusoidal signal. Now in the signal, we know that sinusoidal signal, we have a positive half cycle, negative half cycle, positive half cycle, and again negative half cycle. So this is how bunching action takes place. Now this is what your sinusoidal signal, that is Vs equals to V1 sine omega t, whatever the standard formulations are there. So yours, whatever the standard formulation is there, so accordingly that. So here I have taken the three example for the different time scale, and it will reach at the distance. This is what delta L. So from here to here, it will reach at this distance, and all these three electrons coming together and forming a bunch. So how they are forming a bunch? So obviously you can say the time. So this may be your time TA, whatever the time you can say TA. This is what the second time, maybe the TB, and this is what your third time, that is the time interval we are taking. So negative half cycle, then one should be from the 0, one should be from the 0, and the other is from, okay. So I'll just correct it for the better understanding. Instead of this, I will take, instead of this, I will, because here a 0 is there. So instead of this, I will take this line. So I'll take it from this point, and accordingly, this is the third one. Okay, I'll just improve it. Okay. I'll just do the another because it is may not be visible for you. So that's what I'll do. I'll make it here, and to make it better, more visible, so that all the three different line you can check. The distance you can take anywhere, so that is not any problem. So the one line, the electron travel from this to this, and the another from this, another from here, so this way. Okay, so I hope it is now more clear. Now these electrons, what these three examples are there. These are three examples. I will name this as the second one, that is the 0, that is the TB. Okay. And the third one, that is the TC. Three different positions I have taken for the different time. What here TA, what is the cycle here? It is the negative half cycle. So here you can say whatever here the TA, the whatever the current and voltage, it will be negative. Okay. Now whatever the TB, it is what? It is 0 value. And TC, whatever this value here, that is the positive value. So we have this positive half cycle, we have 0, and we have negative half cycle. Three different positions I have taken. Now this TA negative half cycle. So what this negative half cycle it will do? The negative half cycle, you have to reach, the distance is same. Your distance scale, you just say from here to here. So on the distance scale, what it go from here to here, the distance scale is the vertical axis is the distance scale. So this TA is negatively charged, negative half cycle. Electrons are negatively charged. So what happened? The TA, what they go due to negative, they repel each other, and the electron it require a more time. You can see it require a more time. So it start from here and it reach here. So these electrons are the slower. So you can write here. So these are the slow electrons. You can just see these are the slow. They are going slow. This electron, the first thing, they are going in a slow manner. But if you will see this, the second one, that is the TB, what they are going with the normal speed. Okay. And this TC, this is the positively charged. No, electrons are negatively charged and this is positively charged. So it increase the velocity. So whatever the distance covered by this electron, it is in a very short time. So what the speed is what? They are fast. Okay. So here this electron, they are going in a slow manner. This one, they are going in a fast manner, and they are going as it is. So what happened here? Whatever the things here happened, whatever the bunching process happened here. So what this bunching process, the electron, they are coming slow. This, they are coming fast, and they are coming with the same speed. So here they form a bunch. So what bunch? As this bunch we have discussed here. So this bunch is formed. So this this bunch is formed, whatever this bunching is there. So this bunch is formed here. So this is what the bunching process. And in this bunching process, what happened? This bunching takes place. So if I will just go for the brief review of this that bunching process. So what the effect of velocity modulation produces bunching of what? Bunching of electron beam or the current modulation. So this velocity modulation is the current modulation. This is what the concept. It form a bunching. The electron that passes the bunches at Vs equals to 0 travel through with a unchanged velocity V0 and become a bunch at the center. So this is what the zero velocity, zero impact. So this will form at the center. Those electrons that they pass the buncher cavity during the positive half cycle of the micro input voltage Vs travel fast than the electron that they pass through a gap. So these are the fast traveling electron. So if you will see the time, if you I'll plot a time scale here. So this is this TC, this electron has taken the very less time. The second is this TB from here. So they are moderate or the same. There is no change in the velocity. And this TA, they take a large time. So they are slower. So this way it happened. And these electron, they travel through the bunching cap, forming the bunching action due to the negative and the positive half cycle. So the micro input, whatever the micro input signal you are giving, this is what the input signal. Okay, RF input signal. So this input signal will have the dependency. So this bunching action takes place at a distance of what? This delta L, we are taken a distance that is maybe the small L length. So at a distance of delta L along the beam from the bunching cavity, the beam electrons have the drifted into the dense this is a dense bunching action. Okay, so this is what the time or this is what the bunching process. So is there any doubt or is there any uh, question on this process? So this is what the very simple concept, but yes, the weightage of this concept is more in your whatever the examination pattern or maybe the syllabus. So that's why we took it in a very detailed manner. Okay, so this detailed understanding of this topic is required. And the other topic is the reflex klystron. So instead of these two cavity klystron, now we have discussed two cavity klystron. These are the two cavity. So these are two cavity, it has some disadvantages. Okay, so the two cavity klystron oscillator is usually not constructed, not used generally, because when the oscillation frequency is varied, whatever this input frequency, this is, you can say, the oscillation frequency, the resonant frequency of each cavity and the feedback path phase shift must be readjusted for a positive feedback. So there is a problem, you cannot change this frequency. If it change, then positive feedback should be readjusted, and it is what maybe the tedious task. So this is what the disadvantage of your two cavity klystron. So to overcome this, reflex klystron is used, and reflex klystron is the klystron which is used in the laboratories. So our college also have the reflex klystron. We are using the reflex klystron, and this reflex klystron is used. So in our institute we have the X band reflex klystron, and the general frequency of this reflex klystron, it is around 8 to 10 gigahertz, 8 to 12 gigahertz. X band is 8 to 12. So it is in that range. Okay. So this is what the two cavity klystron, and this is what the bunching process, bunching action. So if there is no question, if there is any question, then you can ask. If there is no question, then we will stop here. Is there any question? So I will stop here.